Hey friends, Nick here, going to go over our calisthenics training. We've got our setup now. Now, the next step is how do we get to getting the setup to actually doing pull-ups? Well, the first help is going to be a super band. We're going to allow ourselves to train using our super band, looping it in, and just training our lats is going to be a great first step. Kneeling into position where we can work on rows in isolation, working the lats, working our pull-ups motion through pull downs, popping the chest, squeezing the shoulder blades, going wide, and eventually working on hanging. So hanging is going to be a question of grabbing our pull-up bar and just finding a nice tension in the upper back, trying to keep our feet together and holding for as long as we can, the threshold being about 1 minute to be able to start working on pull-ups. Now, of course, we want to be progressive about this, so you can easily decrease the amount of tension by placing your elastic between your feet and then working on a hanging position with a bit of help if you're at the point where you're too heavy for a hang position. Now, of course, there are progressions to this, including a lower position where you're going to be challenging less of the shoulders, but able to actually challenge the shoulder blade tension in your upper back. Let me show you that. Step for actually getting to our pull-ups is going to be starting realistically. We want to get ourselves to a low bar, simply hanging, and finally squeezing the shoulder blades. Chin tucked in, pop the chest, and find that nice movement in the shoulder blade. Now from here, my elbows are straight. I'm not letting myself create any flexion in the elbow. And by that, I can then increase the amount of difficulty by getting myself really under the bar. Now that's going to be activating the muscles, really getting the shoulder blade movement as the dominant movement as I go through my next phase, which is the row. So this is the second exercise that you're going to do, is getting yourself to pull and find a nice squeeze in your shoulder blades, dropping your elbows, keeping them depressed at the shoulders, and feeling your chest stretching out and reaching the bar. Now, of course, if that gets easy, we can just bring your feet a bit more forwards and make it a bit more difficult by getting under the bar. Now, squeezing the glutes and bracing your core, breathing out as you pull. That's going to be the key to make sure that your lower back doesn't turn on. Now, the future step would be to then get yourself suspended with your feet on a parallel bar and work on that shoulder blade tension, pop in the chest. It's the same concept, working the back of the shoulders, focusing on a depression in the neck or of the actual shoulders compared to the neck, rather than turn on that neck muscle, which is the trap, which we don't want. So from here, you're going to be able to focus and practice on the right muscles. The second step would be to actually get the mobility of getting the hands over the head without actually getting your tension in the neck. So simply by hanging with your body somewhat under the bar, you can feel if you do build up tension, you need to actually get yourself a little bit lower. So just make sure that you're not creating tension here by getting yourself too far forwards, but keep your body a bit backwards and keep that tension throughout the actual movement. So try those out. Again, creating tension in the right places first, building the strength there, and eventually working on the actual hanging at a supported level.